What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Saving Men's Lives Network. Today, fellas, I want to talk to you about why women get so upset when they don't meet our standards. You need to understand real quick that there's a big difference between the way they think and the way we think, and thus the way they see the world and how we do. Women have been told since probably kindergarten that they're special little princesses, that they can do no wrong, that they are sugar and spice and everything nice. And then puberty kicks in more often than not, way before boys their own age. And they start getting attention from the boys their own age, guys that are older, and they realize they have this power that they can use to their advantage. No point in hating them for it. That's not necessary, nor is it helpful. But you have to understand, the way they operate, especially here in the West, is that they have an opportunity to filter through hundreds, sometimes thousands of men. Add social media to the equation, and now we're talking about attention from guys in countries they've never stepped foot in. Tell them how beautiful they are, how special they are, all kinds of favors these guys are willing to do for them. Men who don't even know them, never had a chance to talk to them, know nothing about their personality or their upbringing, certainly not their body count. And so for a lot of women here in the West especially, they become so arrogant that women who are truly low tier in terms of looks, and I would throw personality in there as well, really do think that they are the picture of perfection. Doesn't matter what her behavior is. Doesn't matter how out of control when she's in public she is. It doesn't matter how much well above her height her weight is. Doesn't matter to her. See, in her eyes, you should be breaking your neck to qualify for her sky-high expectations, which in most cases she doesn't even half begin to qualify for. So what happens when a man expresses what it is he's looking for? Obviously, any normal, aka heterosexual relationship is going to have some give and take. Nobody ever gets everything they want in an interaction. That's not how negotiations work, and it's certainly not how romantic relationships work either. And so when you as a man walk into a room full of women, and if asked and you're honest about it because you don't want to get canceled in this idiotic society we live in now, and you say, hey, listen, I don't want a woman who's been passed around like a frisbee. I don't want a woman who outweighs me by 40 pounds. I don't want a woman who has ass cheeks and hamstrings covered in cellulite. And even if I was prepared to make that concession, I don't want a woman who's not doing anything at all to try to get rid of it. I want a woman who's feminine, soft-spoken, who is reasonable in the event that she and I don't see eye to eye on issue X, Y, or Z. It would really be great if a woman would be at least in some way domesticated. No one's asking for her to be Julia Child, may she rest in peace. No one's asking her to be Martha Stewart. That's asking a lot from anybody. But do you know how to boil water? We can start from there. See, when you make these declarations, a lot of women get furious because it's a two-part arrogant display. Number one, how dare you have expectations? In their eyes, especially Western women, you should take the scraps from underneath of life's table and be grateful. How dare you want more for yourself, despite all the effort you as a man have to put in to become the kind of guy you're going to end up being. And number two, humans being social animals. True, there are some loners. Some folks really do thrive out there in the middle of nowhere in a cabin in a tent down by the river. Okay, there are some folks like that who can thrive in those conditions. But for the most part, people get along better in interpersonal relationships like family or romantically rather. And other folks really do rely on things like villages, towns, and I guess in today's world, cities of millions of more people. So for a woman to hear that a man, especially if that man checks off her hypergamy triggers, he's handsome enough, he's tall enough, he makes enough money, drives a nice car, and other women want the guy as well. For her to hear him explain his, I guess you have to call them disqualifiers, and one or more of them are attached to her, and she can't snap her fingers and remove those things so they're no longer there, she gets offended because that's her opportunity to procure resources going down the drain. Now, that oh so valuable attention from this guy is off the table. Now, those economic resources and all the things they can buy and do are off the table. Being paired up and the status and clout in girl world that comes with being paired up is now off the table for her. My advice is to have no sympathy. Because how many men do you know personally, or at the very least you've heard about, who've been cast aside, tossed aside like nothing for the dumbest possible reasons? She didn't like his shoes, or he ate his soup too loud at dinner, or some crazy stuff. Completely insignificant, because the perception of so many options available to her is through the roof. So she's taking good men off the table for the dumbest of examples. And then they hit 35, 40, 43, then they hit 50. House full of cats wondering where have all the good men gone. I'll tell you where they're gone. They fell into 3 categories. The first category of those good men found a decent chick they could rock with, married her, got a house full of kids with her. The second group of men decided, to hell with this, I'm going my own way. And they've been able to stack up tens of thousands, in some cases hundreds of thousands of dollars, not being spent on dates that go nowhere. Category 3, these guys went to the airport, the seaport, and found a much better option overseas. A woman who was attractive, in shape, feminine without even trying, domestic, and sexually available. So yeah, Candace Bushnell, the creature responsible for the Sex and the City books, TV show, and movies, herself had to finally admit in her 60s that she missed out on everything in life that was important. She's got fame. She's got plenty of money. She's well known. And she's all alone. Never had kids. And when she started making money, when this thing started taking off, when Sex and the City first started becoming a big thing, she disposed of her husband because feminism told her she didn't need him no more. And look at her now, crying herself to sleep at night while drinking her Merlot. So no, fellas, said it before, I'll say it again. Only go for the women who are going for you. Only go for the women who are going for you. Otherwise, you're chasing. And by definition, if you're chasing something, it's running away from you. This works for hunters. Good for them. If it's deer season. But in the dating market, nah, bro. Do not put yourself in a position to be yet another one of her beta male orbiters who's just going to be used for money, meals, grooming like her fingernails and makeup, or for attention. one of the most valuable currencies in a woman's world. So don't let it be you, fellas. That said, that's my time. Like the video, comment down below, share with a friend who needs it, and subscribe. Never let your brother suffer in silence when the truth can set him free. Network as we working. Till next time.